Hi, I'm back again for another book review, and this time I have a confession to make. So, when I started reading this book, which I'm going to review about, that's Metamorphosis by Franz Kafka, I was actually wondering, why am I reading a book in which a man suddenly turns into a giant insect? And, what's the point? Though it's a very thin and a small book, but this is not something which is an easy read or which is very comfortable to read. So I was actually wondering why. What's the point of reading a book like this? And then we discussed this book in our book club. And that's when everything changed. As we discussed this book in our book club, I realized that this book is actually not about this insect. It is about us. It is about how we stop valuing people once they stop contributing in our lives. It is about how their value is only defined by what they can do for us rather than for who they are. And if when somebody is stopped contributing the way we would want them to contribute, or the way society would want them to contribute, the way these people are treated begins to change. And that's something which I feel Kafka wants us to feel. And in this book, I also learned a new term, which is called Kafkaesque. Thanks to my friend Shalini, who told us about this. It is inspired by Kafka's writings, and it is used to describe situations that are deeply unsettling, bizarre, and confusing. And just imagine, your way of writing, his way of writing is so unique that there is a new word that is, become part of a dictionary. I think that's quite a legacy. And the most powerful part about the book was not just the story, but the reflections that we did in our book club. And while we were reflecting on this book, all of us realized that there is somebody who is in our family who's actually become a Gregor. Gregor is the main character in this book. And they've become Gregor not because they've turned into an insect for sure, but they've become a Gregor because slowly over time they have lost the value that they used to hold in the family earlier. And the saddest part about the story isn't that Gregor turns into an insect. It is how everyone so quickly learns to live without him. And that's something which made me wonder, how many Gregors do we already have in our own families? And I think that is what Kafka is trying to ask us in this metamorphosis. I think he's asking us for the metamorphosis not of our bodies, but of our hearts. So I think that's what I think this book communicated for us. And that's how, these discussions really help us in understanding and reflecting on the book that we read. Thank you. See you next time.